Lautaro looking to get the better of Madu on the far side, and he gets the free kick. Hakan Çalhanoğlu, their Turkey international, is going to take it from the far side. He scored in that game against Pergolatesi. And he has several options to aim at inside the Al Nassr penalty area. Bisek and De Vrij forward for it. So Çalhanoğlu dealt with at close quarters by the back of Alex Telles. Al Nassr's most recent signing. He only joined officially on Sunday and was drafted straight into the travelling squad, who spent almost 3 weeks in Portugal before coming out to Japan. Stone with a lovely ball over the top. Gosens might get there, and he does. The cutback is good. Lautaro was coming in but wasn't able to get there quickly enough. One thing that was evident from that game against Paris Saint-Germain was the introduction of Marcelo Brozovic and the man on the ball now, Seko Fofana, into that midfield. It made a huge difference. It gave him so much strength, experience and technical ability. And I suspect with the arrival of Telles and having already signed Ronaldo, Al Nassr will be an even stronger team when it comes to the start of the Saudi Pro League season. Missing out on the league title to Al Ittihad by just 5 points at the end of last season. Even Ronaldo's quota of goals wasn't enough to see them over the line for the title. Madu. Jami being hit into that corner initially, but they get themselves out of trouble before there's a foul on Seko. Almost managed to pip Paris Saint-Germain to the Ligue 1 title, did Seko Fofana and his Lens team of last season. It's a huge roar goes up every time the ball goes anywhere near Cristiano Ronaldo. That was the case in the previous game against PSG. And he's putting on a bit of a display for the fans as well. That's who they've really come to see. Sultan. Talisca trying to touch it onto Fofana, but the strength of Seko Fofana pays off. Brozovic into Talisca, onto Ronaldo, offside. Still a threat at the age of 38. Just advancing slightly ahead of De Vrij. Nice footwork from Talisca. Good balance on the part of Brozovic. Here's Ronaldo. Trademark step over. Fofana from distance. Struck well, but unable to keep the ball down. Cost Al Nassr 25 million euros to sign Seko Fofana from Lens. Look at the space on the far side for Denzel Dumfries, and the reason is that he's in an offside position. Just about to start his third season at Inter. Well, as we're all aware now, that arrival of Cristiano Ronaldo at the start of the year has prompted a mass influx of players from European clubs due to the financial clout that these Arabian clubs do have. Public investment fund, which backs 4 of the biggest clubs, including Al NASSR, are behind the investment. Huge salaries, decent transfer fees. As Dumfries sends it square just behind Fratesi. And now Fofana with head up, looking for options. Has to check back. Of course, the biggest news of the week was the €300 million offer by Al Hilal for the Paris Saint-Germain forward Kylian Mbappe. It's understood, though, that Mbappe does not want the move, despite the fact that he might end up sitting on the bench for Paris next season. Something of a transfer and contract impasse between club and player. Paris don't want to see him leave for nothing in a year's time. He's only got 1 year left on his contract. Ronaldo with a step over, skips away from Dumfries. Now it's Brozovic with a beautifully weighted sweeping ball into Sultan's feet. It's Khalid Al-Ghanam, back to Talisca. More than competent on the ball, Al NASSR. Decent football, Talisca. He's got Ronaldo in the middle. Khalid Al-Ghanam is joining him. Now it's Sultan. Despite all the arrival of these big-name players, including the likes of Ballon d'Or winner Karim Benzema, there's still that question as to whether the Saudi Pro League will be able to sustain this investment and reach the target that they want to reach, and that's be the top 10 leagues in the world by 2030. Brozovic with the foul on Fratesi. There's Dumfries again. You see that a few times in this game, I suspect. Swung in by Bissek. It's going to fall kindly, is it? Almost to Correa. Again, to orchestrate the set piece is Hakan Çalhanoğlu. Just over 10 minutes played. Here's the delivery. And Fratesi gets the contact, although it was off his shoulder. Lautaro claiming another corner. Certainly a few Inter fans in the crowd. There'll be many more watching at home in Milan to see how their team are faring ahead of the new season. Certainly a few issues to solve ahead of the campaign when it comes to personnel, as Talisca charges forward and then goes down. No foul. It's Fratesi who is backtracking. Barella nicely down the line. Plenty of pace. Correa onto it. He's got his Argentine compatriot Lautaro in the middle. Barella into Lautaro. Nice turn. Is there space for a shot? No, there isn't. And then Alex Telles calmly weaves it out of defence, and Ronaldo prods it on to Garib. He was a bit of a nuisance for PSG in the game on Tuesday. Abdulrahman Garib. You know it's a pre-season friendly when you can hear the coaches issuing their instructions from the touchline. Still, there's a decent crowd inside this stadium. They don't get the chance to see some of these high-profile European players, apart from when they arrive for pre-season friendlies and those pre-season tournaments. So having the likes of Ronaldo here, it's really quite an exciting experience for those Japanese football fans. They've got a good league of their own, the J-League. Much of the high-profile football in the world comes from the big leagues in Europe, although Saudi Arabia are trying to change that complexion somewhat. They've certainly got some profile now, having signed all these players. Here's Dumfries. Lautaro waits in the middle, but Tellez nips in ahead of the Dutchman. Mentioned that this is Inter's third tour of Japan, the last being in 2004. When they first came here in 1981, they actually played in the Kirin Cup against domestic teams and international teams. Even played the likes of Belgium. It seems rather odd these days to think that a country might play a club. That's a loose pass from Fofana. He gets away with it. Talisca. And then there's a foul on Çalhanoğlu by his former teammate, Marcelo Brozovic. He's clipped the right foot of Çalhanoğlu. Marcelo Brozovic spent 8 years at Inter. 18 million euros was the fee, by all accounts, that NASSR had paid. NASSR holding a tight line on the edge of the area as Nawaf watches on intently. It's left for Çalhanoğlu. Drifts it in, decent header, but no real guidance from De Vrij. And away go NASSR. Pressure on Bastoni. Signings. Ball just a moment ago as to come forward. Dumfries on the run. Good cover. Najami with the intervention. So likes to make those runs. This one just inside, and that was a nice touch from Fratesi to find Denzel Dumfries. There, but not high enough to keep the ball down. Doesn't look like Lautaro Martinez will be playing alongside Romelu Lukaku for Inter again. Now, quotes from Lautaro saying that he's disappointed with Lukaku, who disappointed Inter even more by negotiating with Juventus ahead of the new season, when Inter thought they were in a really strong position to sign him on a permanent basis, having been on loan last season and been a permanent signing previously. They had a good relationship with the club, but the club have literally pulled the plug on a potential deal when they found out that Lukaku and his representatives were speaking to Juventus. So Lautaro is on the ball now. May well be playing up front alongside Correa or somebody else in the new season as Dumfries tries to make his way past Alex Tellez. Garib, nice touch, but he's obstructed as he tried to make his way through. Jan Orel Bissek is another of the new signings, joined only a couple of weeks ago from the Danish club Aarhus, and you can clearly see there the obstruction with his left arm. Contrast in statures there between Garib and Bisek. Sultan being troubled by Gosens. Al-Nassr certainly feel fairly comfortable on the ball, and it's having the likes of Brozovic and Fofana that makes the difference. Here is the latter. Ronaldo inside his own half. You don't see that very often. A bit more often these days. Al-Ghanan back into the Portuguese, step over, no room for a shot. Fofana working it well. Fofana goes again. That's really good defensive work by Stefan de Vrij, just to restrict the progress of Seko Fofana. I think Ronaldo is well aware that the Japanese fans in attendance are quite happy to see some tricks as part of the action. Fofana out to Garib. Cross, waiting is Talisca, saved by Stankovic, and the best chance of the game so far has fallen to Talisca. Perfectly flighted cross. The Brazilian was there to nod it down, but Stankovic, the young goalkeeper, was equal to it. Teles. Of the Brazilians, headed away by de Vrij. Nice touch from Nicolo Barella, and good strength from Joaquin Correa. Fortunately, he was unable to keep himself up for long enough to send the ball through, but in to get the free kick. Referee Kimura wants the ball taken back. Everybody just to calm down slightly. Almost at the midway point of the first half. No goals as yet, but that chance for Talisca drew us closer to a goal. Certainly don't expect to see the rout that occurred at the Inter training ground the other day. Bergolatesi completely blown away by Inter in that behind closed doors friendly. It's Sultan. No intention of sitting off at all, Al-Nassr, despite their opponents being lofty. That's a decent effort from Ronaldo. Something from the early noughties when he started his career. So that had to be about 25 metres out. It was quite wayward in the end, but you never quite know. It's a good ball over the top here. Correa steps in, but straight into the path of Madu, who deals with it well. Now Fofana with lots of space ahead of him. Al-Ghanan to his right. Talisca and Ronaldo heavily involved. That's a really good ball in, and Al-Nassr strike. At the midway point of the first half, it's Abdulrahman Garib who puts away a delicious ball over the top from Talisca. And against their well-known opponents, it's Al-Nassr who take the lead. Perfectly timed ball and run, and Garib, excellent technique to take that ball first time and guide it beyond Stankovic into the corner of the net. No real opportunity for Stankovic to do anything. His defence was completely stranded. And we have a goal. Inter 0, Al Nassr 1. An academy graduate at Al Ali was Abdul Rahman Garib before joining Al Nassr. And that's youth and experience combining. They threatened it with the Talisca chance just a few minutes earlier, and here they come again. Ronaldo out to the goal scorer. Garib delivers. It's a bit too long for Talisca this time, but Inter at the moment finding it a bit of a struggle to contain their Saudi opponents. Space on the far side for Dumfries. Çalhanoğlu for Gosens. First time into the feet of Bastone. Bisek. Bastone again, that's a good ball. Dumfries, although had to stretch for the first touch. Such an important player to the team is Denzel Dumfries. He just gives them that added extra in attack. Good solid defender, determined to get forward. Well, it's fair to say that Al Nassr have put their early pre-season troubles behind them with those heavy defeats to Celta and Benfica. And after that goalless draw against PSG, they've managed to strike against another big European club. Sultan. The Saudi Pro League will actually expand at the start of the coming season. There were 16 clubs, but from August there'll be 18. Only 2 clubs were relegated at the end of last season. 4 were promoted. So it's bringing up on a par with some of the European clubs and close to some of the others in terms of the number of clubs in the top division. And the complexion of the league will be vastly different from when they began last season. When you think of the number of high-profile players that have already signed, let alone the ones who are being tipped to join Saudi clubs, even if Kylian Mbappe doesn't. Now Brozovic has gone down with a facial injury. Play continues. Lautaro is in, and Lautaro cannot find the far corner. He says that there was a touch from Nawaf. Brozovic got a loose arm in the face from Denzel Dumfries. Well, there's a punch in the air from Nawaf. He did get his fingertips to it, I think. I think Lautaro Martinez was correct in his protesting, but it didn't come to anything. I don't know if that's encouragement from Lautaro to the official on the far side or sarcastic applause. I think it might be the latter. Lautaro again, out to Dumfries, he's looking up, Correa's running into the middle, as is Barella. It's going to fall for the latter, he can't get the ball down, and Al Nassr deal with it well. Gosen steps in, straight up to Lautaro. Lovely reverse ball. Correa. Fairly easy in the end for Nawaf, but well-worked move by Inter. Well, there's plenty of pride from professional footballers to get a victory. They all want to win. The most important thing for the coach, in a way, is the way his team plays. And whether they're showing encouraging signs. They want to build them up towards the start of the new season. It's not a rush job. It's a gradual process. Pre-season training through to the very first game of the new campaign. And in Inter's case, they will be playing Monza on the opening weekend of the season. Ken Çalhanoğlu made the controversial switch, I'd like to say across the city, but across the stadium really, from Milan to Inter. A couple of seasons ago. A few players have played for both clubs over the years. Najami for Sultan. Brozovic into Fofana, rushed into the ball. Now Gosens finds Fratesi in space. This ball has actually fallen kindly for Correa, who has the opportunity to shoot. Eventually it's Martinez. Nawaf doesn't clear, and Dumfries drives it in, and eventually Nawaf Al-Akidi does get down to make a decent save. Really applying the pressure. They got the run of the ball there. Correa did the work. Lautaro got the shot, and after Nawaf done just enough to get the first one away, he smothered the second. He was part of Saudi Arabia's World Cup squad that went to Qatar back in November, but he didn't feature in any of their 3 group games. Although, to say you were part of the squad that beat the eventual World Cup winners at the same tournament is quite something to say. Saudi Arabia shocked Argentina right at the start, but as we know, they recovered, and they recovered in style. Nadu looking for an outlet. In the end, that's the best option. Just over half an hour played. Al Nassr leading through that 23rd minute goal by Abdul Rahman Garib. A well-worked goal, a delightful ball over the defence by Talisca, and a slick first-time finish from Garib, who's now chasing Bisek. Barella to Gosens. Inside to Bisek again, who's come across to this near side. But he's lost possession, and he's out of position. Ronaldo's making a dart into where Bisek would be. It's not quite reached him. Fratesi. Correa's trying to hold his run. Çalhanoğlu spots Gosens in space. Robin Gosens. Nadu makes the header. Dumfries collects the loose ball. It's becoming more and more vocal, is Simone Inzaghi. Bastoni. Barella. Nicolo Barella spots Dumfries, decent delivery, headed down towards Fratesi, but Nawaf was onto it. Frey gets the better of Ronaldo. Here's Lautaro. Çalhanoğlu. It's almost as if Denzel Dumfries has pitched his tent on that far side, just inside the touchline, because almost every time he receives the ball, he's there. To Shalanolu. Lautaro shrugging off Lajami, or at least he's trying to, without any success. And now Seko Fofana, 3 against 3. Ronaldo to the right, Garib, the goal scorer, to the left. Here is Garib. Into Fofana, lays it back to Garib again. Does really well to retain possession. Now Ronaldo, Garib. Trying to rebuild again, but only succeeding in giving the ball to Lautaro, who did a really good job of working back to help out his defence. It's a foul, though. Brozovic tried in vain to get the first one. Eventually it was Khalid with the challenge that forced the free kick. Could argue he got the ball, but I think he might have just clipped Lautaro's foot in the process. Actually, more of a concern for Al Nassr at the moment, although the thumbs up tells you that everything's going to be fine. That water is magic water, as you can see. Look at that. It's actually the goal scorer who's down, Garib. Luis Castro is the coach of Al Nassr, appointed just 3 weeks ago. A 61-year-old, vastly experienced. Didn't play at a particularly high level, but has coached at a reasonable level during his career. Plenty of experience. He's coached in his native Portugal, in Brazil, Qatar, Ukraine, Shakhtar. Just as this break goes on, we get a little montage of Cristiano Ronaldo's work during this first half. Almost struck in the game against PSG. A really good chance from close range, which was well saved by Donnarumma. Got just under 10 minutes to go of the first half. Inter seeking an equaliser. Mentioned there that Luis Castro had managed Shakhtar in the Ukrainian league. He actually won the Ukrainian Premier League with the club, so he has a decent trophy on his CV. Bisek for Dumfries. Fratesi, loose ball, and now it's with Talisca. Ronaldo is charging down the far side. Breakneck speed. Garib, he wants the ball from Garib. Garib has been upended by Bastoni, has he? No, he hasn't, according to the referee. Çalhanoğlu. Correa just getting around the back of Madu. Lays it back, Dumfries. Fratesi. Çalhanoğlu almost lazily plays the ball to Barella. Correa again. Bastoni, they have to go from right to left to try and make inroads. Gosens. Bastoni moving forward. Brozovic calmly down the line. Bastoni's out of position now. It's Khalid. Just waiting for some support. I think Ronaldo's having a breather from that run a moment ago. I mentioned there that the Saudi Pro League is obviously signing these big name players spending a lot of money in the process. It's all coming from the Public Investment Fund, which has been earmarked by the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia to try and improve the profile of the league. It might be an issue here for Dumfries. Stankovic steps in. The investment fund owns 75% of 4 clubs, including Al NASSR, Al Ittihad and Al Hilal, 3 of the biggest. Prince Mohammed bin Salman is behind the move to increase the profile of the league, better the Pro League, and I think say to the rest of the world, we are in a position to stage events. They are going to stage the Club World Cup at the end of the year. It's all going to take place in Jeddah this December. Al Ittihad will be the home participants as Gosens makes the challenge on Khalid. Zaghi again. I don't know if he's left his technical area at all in the first half. I think he'll be a little bit frustrated that his team have allowed Al NASSR to knock the ball around, work into good positions, have chances and score a goal. Tellez now joining the Ronaldo party. Nawaf from the D, looking left, waiting to see what the best option is. In the end, it's straight down the middle, straight to his counterpart at the other end, Filip Stankovic, a well-known name that. You can assume that he is related to Dejan Stankovic, it's his father. Well, it's a good ball from Gosens, but it's an offside flag. Not sure whether it's against the German or against Joaquim Correa. Here's the first ball. Difficult from that angle, may have been marginally off. Yeah, that's where the flag has come, because it was a square pass to Correa. Just slightly offside. Brozovic wants to get on with it. Fofana. Ronaldo. Characteristic loose touch from the Portuguese. Bastoni. And he goes to Gosens.
جونيز كان في مكان التسلل ولعبها عرضية بهذا الشكل، وفي النهاية القرار جاء براية وتسلل في صالح النصر من جونيسس. الكرة الماضية واصل الكرة لصالح النصر. بروزوفيتش يلعب كرة إلى رونالدو، مقطوع الكرة واصلة باتجاه ستانكوفيتش. ستانكوفيتش ينقلها لباستوني. باستوني مع الكرة، نيكولو باستوني دور على زميل، يلعب كرة في وسط الملعب إلى باريلا، يلعبها إلى جونيسس. جونيسس في تمريرة. جالهانوغلو. جالهانوغلو يلعب الكرة إلى جونيسس في الجهة اليسار. المحاولة لصالح الانتر. في وسط الملعب على الجهة اليمنى. تمريرة واصلة في وسط الملعب. للجهة اليسار غوسنس يلعب كرة عرضية إلى منطقة الجزاء واصلة باتجاه نواف العقيدي. نواف يلعب كرة طويلة ثم راسية من جديد واصلة في صالح الانتر. تاليسكا ياخذ كرة إلى كريستيانو رونالدو. رونالدو العودة بالكرة في الخلف. مرت المحاولة لصالح النصر فيها صافرة ومخالفة ركلة حرة مباشرة. كرة ثابتة لصالح النصر على الجهة اليمنى. الأوقات الأخيرة في شوط المباراة الأول 1-0 النصر يتقدم. نواف العقيدي شوط أول رائع نصراوي، توج بهدف وأسبقية على الانتر بهدف مقابل لا شيء. الانتر يسعى جاهدا دائما للعودة لكنه لا يجد الطريق للعودة. الكرة العرضية والرأسية الآن الانتر تمكن من تسجيل هدف التعادل. براتيسي نجح في تسجيل هدف التعادل على يمين نواف العقيدي. عرضية هذه المرة نجح الانتر في استثمارها وتمكن من تسجيل هدف التعديل. شوف العرضية من جديد إلى فراتيسي، كانت بعيدة على نواف العقيدي الكرة. فراتيسي كان وحيدا في غياب للتغطية من المدافعين مع فراتيسي ليتمكن من تسجيل هدف التعادل. هدف يلام عليه المدافعين. فراتيسي أن يبقى بهذا الشكل وحيدا، فراتيسي أن يبقى بهذا الشكل وحيدا داخل منطقة الجزاء، هذا أمر مرفوض. يعني لا عبد الله مادو موجود، لا علي لا جامي موجود، متروك كان فراتيسي وحيدا من أجل أن يستثمر الكرة ويتألق مع كرة رأسية سجل معها هدف التعادل. تطمئن سيميوني إنزاغي لكنها لا تفرح. الانتر تمكن من العودة بهدف تعديل في الأوقات الأخيرة من شوط المباراة الأول عبر فراتيسي. عبد الرحمن غريب سجل الأسبقية، فراتيسي سجل العودة لصالح الانتر. إذا شوط أول ينتهي تقريبا الآن في الثواني الأخيرة، ينتهي بالتعادل الإيجابي بهدف لهدف. وبعد أن يعود الفريقين إلى استراحة ما بين الشوطين، ماذا بعد ذلك بالنسبة للمدربين؟ كيف سيعود سيميوني إنزاغي؟ كيف سيعود كاسترو لشوط المباراة الثاني؟ وتسديد نواف ممتاز. نواف العقيدي حصل على الكرة الماضية، بعد الكرة تعود للإنتر. دقيقة مضافة على الوقت الأصلي من زمن شوط المباراة الأول. 45 دقيقة اكتملت، دقيقة واحدة فقط بالنسبة لحكم المباراة الياباني. أمر بدقيقة بدل ضايع الكرة لخارج أرضية الملعب. القرار بماذا؟ القرار بركلة مرمى لصالح النصر. معها سنشهد آخر كرات شوط المباراة الأول أيها الأعزاء متابعين عبر منصة STC TV. آخر ثواني شوط المباراة الأول بغض النظر عن النتيجة. النصر قدم شوط أول رائع بمعنى الكلمة، شوط أول رائع بمعنى الكلمة يستحق الإعجاب. الكل قام بمهمة على ما ينبغي، إن كان ذلك على مستوى الجهاز الفني أو اللاعبين. إذا شوط المباراة الأول ينتهي أيها السيدات والسادة بالتعادل الإيجابي بهدف لمثل من الجانب